Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another SAG-AFTRA Foundation's Conversations at Home series. We find actors in their homes and we ask them a bunch of questions. And today we have the wonderful Lisa Vidal. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you, Briana. I'm so excited that I found out you're a fellow New Yorker from Brooklyn. I was like, Brooklyn in the house. And that you're a Latina. I'm loving that. And I'm Puerto Rican, you're Dominican. I was just saying that Victor Rasuk is Dominican. He plays Daniel on our show. So it's a beautiful thing. We have a lot of Latinos on the show. We have Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican, Ecuadorian, Argentinian, Peruvian. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, just so that I can give a little bit of context, I realized I didn't introduce myself. My name is Briana Rodriguez. I'm the editor-in-chief of Backstage, and I'm so excited to be able to talk to you about the show, ABC's new The Baker and the Beauty. We're episode 4 now, or 3?
3. 3 will be airing on Monday.
We're on 3. And you play Motty.
She's
the
Motty
mom.
The mom. Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about the show. I watched an episode last night, and I was so excited again to just dive in with you. So could you give us a little bit of context about what the show's about, and how your character plays into the whole world?
Well, The Baker and the Beauty is about this guy named Daniel, who's a baker and works for his family's bakery in Little Havana. They're a immigrant Cuban-American family who's been in the States for many, many years. And, very blue-collar, very humble family, very tight-knit Latino family, and living a regular life. Daniel's got a girlfriend of 4 years, and they're just going about their way. And then all of a sudden, he happens to meet this fashion mogul, huge celebrity star with a super wealthy, beautiful woman, played by Nat Kelly, plays the beauty. And it's all about how that world and that romance affects him and his family, and what that looks like, coming from a very humble situation and that whole celebrity life that we're all fascinated by clashing, and how it affects everyone in the family.
Amazing. I mean, I feel like I would be remiss not to ask you a little bit about what your days are looking like right now. What is your quarantine routine looking like? We're speaking via Zoom now. So just tell us a little bit about what I'm calling your quarantine. What is your day? What are your days looking like now?
Well, I've been doing a lot of interviews and, stuff like that during, quarantine time, and just, keeping track of family, a lot of FaceTiming, spending time with my own family, sending lots of prayers and good wishes for people to stay healthy during this time, and also prayers to people who have been affected. We've got some friends that lost some loved ones. So it's been a tricky time, right? A time of gratitude, but also a time of a lot of loss and sadness for a lot of people. And I think that our show, and I don't mean to minimize anything, but our show, because it's that really warm kind of loving show about a family, I think it's so pertinent in this time right now, because we're spending time a lot with our families, and we're not allowed to be going out and be distracted by other people or other things. So our show kind of reiterates the importance of the family unit and love in our lives, and it's weird how perfect the timing of it all is. And doing a lot of bike riding, walking, and lots of eating and cooking and dancing, because I gotta work this off, girl. Getting out of control, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoo, yeah, time to do a dance video.
No, it's such a balance right now, I think, between trying to find ways to stay vibrant and happy, and also, you know, realizing that some people are really, really being affected. And this actually, I want to mention that the SAG-AFTRA Foundation is doing some really, really great work in raising money for actors who have been affected by COVID-19. So for anyone who's watching, please go down below. They have a lot more information about how you can donate and support the actor community. But I don't want to, you know, linger too long on that, because, you know, we're here to talk about what's a really, really fun show. And as you said, it brings some sweetness and some lightness to our time when everyone's kind of sitting and watching television. So the show focuses on a Cuban family, and I feel like it's such a fun representation of Latinidad that I am so thankful to see more of recently. But it feels like really familiar to me. You know, I feel like, you know, it's a family-run business. You know, there's the quarreling siblings, there's the smothering mother. What did you want to make sure as Lisa Vidal that you communicated to the audience, both about Motty, but also the family that she's the matriarch of?
I think, you know, what I wanted to communicate playing Motty Garcia is a lot of what I feel in my own life as a mom of three, and as a Latina woman, as a businesswoman, as the matriarch of my family, and as a woman who is still with her husband 35 years later and still in love. And I wanted to relay that, you know, this family, you know, it starts with the parents and the love of the parents and the principles and the values that the parents have instilled in their children, and that family is everything, love is everything, and that, you know, our unit is special and it's to be valued and prioritized. And so I think that's why it makes for such an interesting story, because celebrity and celebrity life can be so enticing, and so it can take you away from so much of what's truly important at the end of the day when it comes to love and family and romance. And so I think what I want people to know about Motty is that she's an ex-showgirl. She used to be a singer and still is a singer. And so that life is very attractive to her and she's very drawn in by it, but it's definitely gonna cause some mixed feelings for her, and her priority at the end of the day is always her family and protecting them. And she's a big bear mama. She's like, they come first.
Yeah. I feel like you, I mean, when I saw you infuse her with so much warmth and so much care, but also like this really vibrant spirit. And she feels like one of my tias. I'm like, she's like, this is my aunt right here. You know, like she feels so familiar. But what did your process, you know, we're speaking to a community of, and a group of actors, but, you know, what did your process of building her look like from when you read the script to when you got in front of the camera?
Well, it's funny. I didn't want to play Motty stereotypical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what we see perpetuated as the Latina mom in the few things that, you know, Latinos are cast in. So I really wanted to create a character that was still such a loving mother. And even though she smothers a little bit too much, she's in their business a little too much, she tries to control certain things, which all mothers do, and which especially Latina mothers, like, you know, we're all up in our kids' business. But I wanted to show a mom that still takes care of herself, that still prioritizes herself, that still cares about how she presents herself to the world, that she's a businesswoman and that she cares about, you know, her husband and loves about what he thinks, but also, you know, wants to be attractive to him and still very much in love with him. And she's playful. She hasn't lost her joy for life. And for me, that's how I really try to live my life. Not that it's perfect, because it isn't. And you're going to see, you know, Motty and the Garcia family are not perfect. They're a real family and they deal with real problems. And so part of that process was really kind of injecting a lot of myself and my thoughts and the kind of mother I wanted to portray on television and how I wanted to represent her in this family, and what message was I trying to convey. And also Dean Jajaris, who created the Cuban American version of our show, he gave us a lot of freedom with these characters. He gave us details, but he also took a lot of suggestions as to what we were feeling about our characters. You know, as far as acting process, you know, because I know we're speaking to our beautiful body of actors who I love. Been a national board member of SAG-AFTRA for many years, and also a member for 40 years. Process has a lot to do with preparation, you know, really kind of thinking, well, what do I think of my character? What are other people saying about my character? What is my life before? Where did I come from? Where am I passionate? Am I sad? What makes me depressed? You know, that is the process of building a character and deciding, you know, each scene, what has happened the moment before the scene starts, you know, and how do you start, and then how do you finish the scene, you know, where you're at. So that's all, you know, we all know as actors that there's a whole process to that. But as far as just wanting to represent a non-stereotypical Latina mom who's not a drug pin or cartel leader or prostitution ring or abusive mother, or she's just a mom. She's just a loving mom, a regular person that any ethnicity and any family can relate to.
Can you dive in a little bit more on the details of something maybe that you came forward with, that you were like, you know, you said that the creator gave you some details, but you were very vocal about what you wanted with Motty. You know, can you give an example of maybe of something
Sure.
along those lines?
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, I wanted to create my very individual relationship with each one of my children. This is how Mari is with Mateo. This is how Mari is with Daniel. This is how Mari is with Natalie. So, because that's how we are, right? We have individual relationships with our children because they each have different personalities. And so I wanted to create, I knew what my relationship with Daniel was. You know, I respect him. He's going to take over the business. He's smart. He's talented in the kitchen. And I'm very encouraging with that. And I see him more as the mature guy. And, you know, my son Mateo is much more of a silly head. And Mari's always like, pero muchachito, salte de ahí, saca eso, ¿qué tú estás pensando? You know, she's just like, why do I always have to be on your behind, you know? And David Del Rio's just, he's so wonderful. He's like a Latino Jerry Lewis. And he's always like, you know, just comes up. We have such a great, Mari and Mateo have a great little banter between the two of them. They have a great relationship. They're funny. And so I had suggested to Dean, because, you know, Mateo loves the music industry. He's a DJ and, you know, he wants that to grow. I had suggested, you know, in real life, I'm a singer and I love music. And I just thought, wouldn't it be awesome if, you know, Mari and Rafael met, you know, at this place where she was performing, and, you know, she's an ex-singer, ex-showgirl, and that's where Mateo gets his musical talent from. And so that's how she connects with him as well, like, and encourages his music. And so Dean went and just flew with that, you know, and so it was pretty cool, you know, that he was open to something like that. And that just added this incredible layer and richness to the relationship between Mari and Mateo.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like, you know, so many times actors have the wherewithal to deepen their characters, and it's a blessing to have a creator who is able to incorporate that feedback into the characters. Because yeah, it's not always the case, but it's amazing that it was with The Baker and the Beauty. And you mentioned a few of the other actors. I mean, like Victor Rosek, David Del Rio, Belisa Escobedo, which she's amazing. I think she's so great. And then Nat Kelly, as you mentioned, she plays Noah, the diva actress. You know, well, actually, she's not a diva. She's very grounded, and that's
she's
part
not,
of it.
Yeah, to me, Noah is very. She has the elements that it takes to, you know, be this beautiful, lovely, well-rounded woman, but she's dealing with a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and dealing with all of that in a celebrity world where the camera's always on you and you just, sometimes can't be vulnerable when you want to, or that's difficult. So Natalie's doing a great job of playing that. And Michelle Ventimilla plays Vanessa, the ex-girlfriend. And she does an extraordinary job of, making you hate her and then love her the next minute. She just is just such a rich actress. And Dan Bukatinsky plays Lewis, the beauty's manager, and he's so lovely the way he plays this father figure and really cares about Noah, but he can be a real what, to protect her. Dan has that beautiful way of balancing all of that. This cast is just honestly extraordinary. Carlos Gomez, who plays Rafael, my husband, just such a beautiful man. His sensitivity, his ability to be vulnerable and still be strong. Carlos is very silently strong, which is, very Cuban and fatherly. And, Motty's like this, "Ay, papi, there, hello." She's like, "Ay, papi, come on, relax yourself." It's like, it's such a nice mix, the way they did everything. And Victor Rasu plays Daniel as this regular, awesome, humble, grounded guy who just wears this heart on his sleeve and is who he is. It's just, you fall in love with all of them and you understand why, and it's so endearing. And I'm just excited that people are just really loving it.
My question was going to be, speaking of all of these incredible actors, and I mean, no, that was wonderful context for what my next question is. But it's, what for you makes a good scene partner? I mean, you have all of these like high energy, really incredible scenes with these people, but what for you makes a good scene partner?
A good scene partner to me is someone who is open to whatever happens in the scene. Someone who can catch the ball when you throw it, someone who's flexible, and then someone who's innovative. Because it's not just about the words on the page, it's what are you doing? What are you thinking? And what prompts you to do something because of what you're thinking, or how you're reacting in the scene. So you're not just standing there saying words, you're living, right? You're reacting and you're engaged with the other person in the scene. The worst thing is to have a lump on a log who just reads the lines, says the lines. There's nothing going on. They're not bringing anything to the character. The magic is not there. So it's wonderful to get that from actors. And that's when it's something special. And our cast is that. They bring the magic.
Amazing. I want to dive a little bit into your experience as an actor, because you've been an actor for how long now?
40 years.
Amazing. So you have lots of knowledge and experiences to impart, but this is always a fun question that I like to ask actors who've been in the game for a while. What is your number one audition horror story that you can recall from now?
Jesus. I don't have just one. I have a few. Oh my gosh. Geez. I think way back in the day when I was first starting out, because I started out in theater when I was 14. So really, I think I've been acting more than 40 years, but I've been a SAG-AFTRA member for 40 years. We were just asked to do such horrible things, Back in the day, it was like, okay, seduce that guy and, give him a blowjob. What? That's the audition? Wait a minute. There was some stuff that was like going down back in the day that was like really horrible. I would say though, the worst one was definitely an awful movie that I will not mention the name of, years and years ago. And of course I was playing a maid. And I was asked to, at the audition, to take my top off because, I'm supposed to be running away from someone who's trying to rape me. And I didn't quite understand why that would be necessary. And I ended up not taking my top off. But that was humiliating to me, and it was very uncomfortable. And I felt like there was something behind that was not appropriate to the audition or the role.
Mm.
That was probably the worst one. And then I have a funny one about a commercial where they actually asked me to be a fish. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Like, am I a tropical fish? Am I
I was like, Jesus, if I don't make it by the time I'm out of this.
Like, if I have to do one more fish audition, I'm out.
I'm done. But I'll tell you, those experiences are what helped me create some boundaries for myself as an actress and say, no, I'm not going to that audition. Or what's the process going on there? Or who am I meeting? Or what are they going to ask of me? No. So.
And obviously, it's come to light that actresses obviously need to have way more boundaries than some male actors. But times they are changing. Thank God.
Yes, they are. Thank God. Absolutely.
Which of your performances do you think about the most?
Do I think about the most? Which of my performances do I think about the most? In terms of whether or not I did a good job, or whether or not...
Any way you want to take that. If you find, I'm just curious, I'm always curious to see for actors which roles kind of linger after you've thought that they've dissipated, but you can take that question however you'd like, honestly.
Well, I think I loved the character that I played on Third Watch. That was a good show. And I played an emergency doctor, Dr. Morales, on that show. And Michael Beach was my love interest. I was his love interest. That was a special show because it was so grounded, and it was about police and fire and medical and all of that. But the character life of each character was so rich and so well written. So I often think about that character. I love playing cops too. I always love playing cops. I like telling people what to do. That's always fun. And I played a lot of cops. But Third Watch stands out in my mind. And of course, being Mary Jane, Kara, I loved playing that role, even though that was incredibly grueling on me, that character, because she lived from such an emotional place of constantly having to buck it up and get strong and, be vulnerable quietly, or she was dealing with so much. And I absolutely poured a lot of my working mom into that role, where sometimes when you feel like you're not a good enough mom, you're not doing it right, you're not powerful enough in your job, and you got to be better, you got to, and so Kara really gave me an opportunity to express those feelings. And Mara Akil was just incredible as a writer, obviously showrunner, producer, and she gave me a lot of freedom in the sense of she really wanted my voice. She was like, I don't know how to write for a Latina. I need you to teach me. And she was so open that way. So that was refreshing.
That's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah.
Which performance, and this could be film, television, theater, it's a big question, but which performance do you think every actor should see, and why?
Of my performance?
Any performance. Anything that's inspired you that you've seen in the past that you think is informative for...
as far as like other actors, oh my God, anything Meryl Streep does, Sally Field, oh my gosh, Annette Bening, Susan Sarandon, oh God, there's so many. I love them. Like, just so much. Barbara Streisand. Yes, I love Barbara Streisand. People who need people. Oh, Jennifer Lopez did a good job singing People the other night. I was like, okay, girl, because that's one of my favorite songs. I loved it. But I always go to the greats. But there are a lot of wonderful new actresses too that I enjoy watching. And I love a lot of my Latino community. so many of them, Justina Machado, you know, Rosalind Sanchez, Ava Longoria, like there's just this, Zoe Saldana, there's so many wonderful, Judy Reyes, Ana Ortiz, like there's so many wonderful actresses that are on television, they're doing film, and we just need more people behind the scenes writing for us. But we've got a lot of talent out there.
Well, I mean, that's what everyone's saying, that will be the silver lining after all of this is over, is that we're going to have this huge explosion of content because everyone's going to have sat around and had all the time to write. So hopefully on the other end of it, we'll have some, on the end of this quarantine, we'll have some amazing Latin stories. And
hallelujah. Hallelujah. That would be nice. That would be nice, because we need it. We need it. And you know, what's beautiful about the Baker and the Beauty is that we're not holding up some flag saying, oh, look, we're Latinos. Hey, right? We're literally just telling a story about a family and what happens to this family. And I love stories like that, where we just happen to be. I can't stand the stereotypical thing that's always perpetuated. That's like, people don't want to watch it. Our own people don't want to watch themselves like that. So I think that's another really, really important aspect of the Baker and the Beauty, and why it's so enticing and appealing to so many people on so many levels. You know, we Latinos, we want to see ourselves as normal people. You know, this family is hardworking. They're immigrant, but they're hardworking, and you know, they've been in the country for a long time, and they're just a regular family. It's like, yeah, they have regular problems dealing with their kids, the marriage, the business of this, you know. And it's a beautiful thing to see those characters work through life just being people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very much that the details of their identity aren't so, as you say, you know, kind of taking a flag and raising it and saying, hey, we're Latinos, but it's woven into the details of the show. Like, you know, he's making a cafecito, you know, in the little cups. And, you know, it's things like that are just like, you notice, you know, but it's not in your face and front and center in a way that
Exactly. It's just how we do. That's
exactly.
Like
it's just how we do. That's it.
Just how we do. Like the Spanglish thing that we go in and out, and it's just not a big deal. It's not. We're not trying to make a point of it. It's just what we do. It's just what we do. You know.
And this will be my last question before I let you go. But what advice would you give to your younger self?
Ooh, I actually get asked this question a lot. The advice I would give to my younger self, which I'm now getting to give to my daughter, who's an actress as well, and my sister, Christina Vidal, who's an amazing actress, and even my children, to believe in yourself, to carry your confidence. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to shine. Trust your instinct, trust in what you know and who you are, and don't allow anyone else's opinion to define you, because you can do the defining all by yourself. And that's exactly what I wish I would have known a little bit more, you know, about being myself and just being okay with it. And, you know, not hiding the beautiful you are inside and out. I think women can be mean. This industry can be mean, and you got to just buck it up and be like, I'm good. I got you. What? I'm okay. I'm doing all right.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you so much, Lisa. This has been awesome. Everyone tune into ABC's The Baker and the Beauty. Check it out. It's a super fun show. As we said, it's a great break from the news feed. So to stop scrolling on Twitter.
And if you love it, please spread the word. Share the news, spread the word, especially my Latinos. Let's tune in, because we got to support each other's content and watch it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Briana.
Be safe, be well. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Take care. God bless. Bye.